guys, it's Nito LR here, and I'm here to do a tutorial for Photoshop. I'm looking for a certain text to make like a custom logo for my group on Facebook, a Super Smash text. But that specific font is actually you have to pay for it. It's called Matisse Ultra Bold. I guess it's a Japanese text that you can only get from paying for it. So I found this tutorial on Smashboards, and I figure I'd do a small tutorial and kind of go through the steps of making the text as close to the Brawl logo as you possibly can. Anyways, so you're supposed to start off with certain text, and I did that for my group. My group's called Schenectady Smash. So here we go. So you get your text down, and then what you're supposed to do is make a copy of that text. Then when you get the copy, you're supposed to go to blending options, and let's see. Yeah, what you're supposed to do is, I did a couple steps ahead because I was working on it. You're supposed to go to your text, and you're supposed to turn, what is it, a glow? Yeah, it's an outer glow. You want to set an outer glow. You can switch it to gray because that's usually the default background for the Brawl logo, and turn the opacity up to 100. Then you want the spread 89%, and the size, I forgot the exact size I did. I think I did 13 for mine. I believe it was a 13 spread because his logo here is The Legend of Zelda. I did Smash, so it didn't come out so bad. So like, here, let me just give you guys a quick example. So what you guys will do, you go to outer glow, and you want to take it off of screen. You want it normal, and then I will put a color. I guess you guys can see. Let's just do gray again. So you're gonna do gray, and then here you go. You put it up to 89. And then, like I said, I put it to 13. But you guys can follow that specific tutorial. I also provided in the link below. Yeah, put that to 100, so it looks more official. I have a darker color gray on this one. But anyways, you get to about here. If you do softer or precise, it'll make the edges look a lot more crisp. Alright, and so what you do there, you would hit OK, right, and then you would get this. So once you do there is you make a copy of it, like duplicate layer, and then you would hit shift, and then you would right click and you'd hit merge layers. So then once you did that, then you should be exactly where I'm at right now. So I have the logo here with the gray border around it. Alright, so the tutorial shows next that we're going to be doing a bevel and emboss of that texture. So alright, glow settings, original, disable stroke settings on the duplicate now. Duplicate, blah blah blah. We did that. Apply these settings. Alright, so they want a drop shadow and the pillow emboss. Okay, alright, so let's try this out. So they have it here. So what you can do is, I think it doesn't matter what color. Yeah, I'm just gonna do regular. Right. My thing is so small. Let me just do this. Increase the size of it. Alright, so we increased the size of the paintbrush. And we're just gonna go over those holes. Alright, so what we're going to do is go back into blending options, and since we turned it into a picture by merging layers, we're able to add more effects to the photo itself. So then here we would be doing this. It's a color overlay. We could change that to whatever color you guys prefer. I guess for the sake of the video, I'll just do gray. Let's do gray. Why not? So now what that does is gets rid of the text, because this is what we're going to layer, behind the actual text. That's why we made a copy of it originally. It's like if you look off to the right, it says smash. Anyways, so we hit OK. Boom. So now we want to do the other thing, which is the Bevel Emboss. Alright, we're going to go back to here. It says Pillow Emboss Smooth. Let me just do one of these. Pillow Emboss. They want a global light. Let's 114. Alright, the size. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. But they still want 114. Okay, here we go. Sorry guys. So we have 114, we want the size 1. And keep it at 100% smooth. So it should be looking alright. We have to change it. They want the screen opacity of 67. And this opacity they want 100%. Okay. Let's see. Smooth. Let's go back to here. Oh, and they have a texture element added to it. I guess we can do a texture. So then you see it gives it that cool like rippling effect. I probably won't do that. Texture. I don't know if they got like a metal looking, or I guess that would work. A metal looking, but so I think we can change. Wait, that's another thing I forgot to mess around with. Alright, let's go back to blending options. I apologize. And you see how it says the altitude? That's another thing I forgot to. We want 56. I guess that makes the one edge on the top, yeah, more cleaner. You see how it's like brighter on the top but dark on the bottom? So that looks pretty official right there. And I believe, yeah, they added a drop shadow. So we're just going to mimic that as well to make it that good look to it, I guess you could say. Same thing, you want the global. You can keep your global light, but I'm going to put 114 just in case I feel like switching the direction of other stuff. Alright, so they want the size 3. Let's see, 85. Yeah, take the blending mode to normal. Alright, it looks pretty legit too. If you look over there at the picture that we got on the left side, and then my result over here, it's actually like almost identical to it. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Alright, we'll hit OK there. So that looks pretty good. See what we do is overlay that. Oops. And then it would be, we would move this just so you guys get an idea. Bam. Seeing that looks pretty official. And then you would do is just you would manipulate the text itself, and you could change with blending options the gradient like to a red and black, just like the logo itself, where you can customize something completely different of your own. Alright, let's just take this off, see what their next step is. Just follow this. You might realize the holes, yep, we did that. That's why you want to make sure you paint all the holes in the thing, in the picture. Alright, see. If you're satisfied with it, huzzah. If you're not, professionals may want to of shading. That's pretty good too. Yeah, you can also do that as well, like the the gradient for the emboss. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let's see, duplicate option. Color. You can do. Yeah, see, like that. Instead of just the plain color overlay, we can do a gradient overlay, and you can switch like the direction of it. Okay, so like say for instance 180, perfect. You see how on the picture it's kind of like dark on the sides but lighter in the middle. We'll just edit that. If you double click it, then you'll see this menu pop up, and what you'll do is you can mess around with it, and you can see both the sides. Also, you drag this over here in the middle, and then you can click again. Once the box is dragged towards the center, and you can click again for this other box, and you can swap the color of that. You would just do this. You find a color. Let's do like this regular gray. Boom. Right, and then I don't know exactly the colors. 142, 142, 142. Okay. So over here, same thing. 142, tab, 142, tab, 142. Beautiful. Alright, so now we have that nice gray. And then the same thing, since towards the center it gets lighter, so what we're going to do is double click it. I guess we can just do a white. Or maybe a lighter shade of gray, so it just doesn't look so bright. Beautiful. See, that actually coming out pretty nice. And then with here, or when you're looking at this, the gradient editor, those little points in the center, you can change how far you want it to blend. Don't make a mistake like me. Alright, here we go. Grab the center point, and you can show how far you want the color to blend. See, and it looks like more legit, I guess, but you probably don't want these so far on that one side. You want it to kind of like the gray to reach over more, I guess. Or you can have it centered. It's really up to you guys. Alright. Awesome. Alright, so hit OK. Right, we're done with that finished product. So, and since we have it here, we'll call this like a smash text BG for background. Bam, off click it. See? And then now, when you do that, it'll look more official. And like I can show you guys how to edit that actual text so it like represents or symbolizes the same thing, or looks, or matches the same look to the logo itself. So because come out more official. So anyways, you got that drop shadow behind it, and you can edit that as much as you like. You can make it look like it's popping out more or whatever. It's up to you. But the reason why I was putting this tutorial together was because I wanted to make a new logo for my group, and I liked the new text of the new Smash, and it's similar to it to a degree. And you see how they have like effects added into the background, which we can do too. So like there, it's a black color. So let's edit this. See how there's more of like a slant, or like they have the arcway, like what you would do normally. You do the same process, but like for instance, okay, let's say for Schenectady, just move this out the way for a second. You see how we have the bending here? We're to take our text tool in Photoshop, just highlight the words, and then there's this thing up here for it's like text warping. So what you can do is called arc lower. I believe this is what they have here. Yep. They have text lower, so it's straight on the top, but bends the letters on the bottom. So kind of like arcway. So anyways, that would look more legit. I believe they have the same thing, flat on the bottom but arcs up. Yep, boom. Alright, so that works for that. Alright, got that going. And then you'd follow that same process. But let's do it again anyways, just to do it. So here we go. So we don't want to, mess around with the text too much. So what I'm going to do is duplicate the layer for Schenectady, right? And then I'm going to find what I just duplicated. Why did I delete it? Whoops, I meant to hit duplicate. There we go. Alright, so from here, now we'll just blank out everything else. Right click, blending options. Outer glow. This is what I was showing you guys before. Alright, so we're going to do exactly, click under the outer glow option and want that to normal. And they have it a spread of 100%. 13. Oh yeah, change the color because you won't be able to see anything. Alright. Same thing, more precise. Maybe I'll tone it down just a bit. I like seeing those edges in the logo. And then, like I said, we'll go back in later. Like you see the holes where the C is, and the H, and the E, and the N, so on and so forth. That's what you would color later once you actually get it down. So we hit OK. Bam. So now that should be good. We're going to duplicate it one more time. Alright, so now we're going to do that. Shift, right click. If the option doesn't pop up here, you can just go to layer. And then you're going to do merge layers or control E, your choice. Alright, so now that it's an actual picture, now we can manipulate it. Alright, so now we go back. Oh, first let's cover up those holes. Alright, see? Covering them up. Don't worry about the text. That's why we made duplicates. Let's go like that. Alright, do this too. Alright, so now that we got that, so now we're going to go back to blending options. Right? I don't know why that came up. I must have double clicked it on accident. Okay, so now, like before, we got the pillow emboss that we want. Can switch all this. It was what? I believe it was 50 something. 50 something. I can't remember off the top of my head. I know I just did it. Failing right now. 56. Okay, 56. 56. That. 114. What did they have? This is 1. And 100. 1. Yep. Shadow multiply 100%. Screen multiply 67. Alright. Smooth. Just making sure, guys, we're just going back and forth. Trying to check it out. Alright. So, did that. I'm getting this like black outline on the top. I'll have to fix that in a second. Let me just get this color overlay. So, in there they did like a black. Shadow mode. Keep that the way it was. Color overlay. I don't want to get that like slight shadow in the background. Oops, turning on all these effects. Hit OK. 1 second, guys. Alright, guys, I'm back. I fixed it. I was messing around a little bit with the settings. What I did was I unchecked all my effects, and then I had used the magic wand tool to select everything within the logo, colored it black, and then went back and then put the effects on. So now it looks more of a solid black rather than that like slight black, like I don't know, like screen or film, if you want to call it. Anyways, so now from this point, what we do is we take the text tool to edit the text that we had earlier, and since it's already black, we'll switch it to white. Just make sure that you know where it's at so you don't confuse yourself. Make sure it's on top of the thing. Boom. There you go. So now you have it like theirs, and let's see, let's go back to the official site. So they have like this blue, like it's like a silver, I want to say, like a metallic silver, like this blue going across it. See, they had add like just like effects, really is what it is. Oh, okay. And I also see that they added like a stroke behind the thing as well. So let's do that. Let me just check back just to make sure. Alright, yeah. I believe they turned down the opacity on that. Blending options. Here we got Bevel and Emboss, and that screen we want to tone it down just a little bit. They don't have it as vibrant, and then they also have a stroke behind it, and we're going to turn it white. So, I mean, I know you can't tell right now, but what we do is change the background color itself so you guys know what I'm talking about. Let's do this. Boom. So can you guys kind of see like the outline around it? Like a white color. Alright, let's do that. Blending options. Let's just make that stroke a little bigger. See what I mean? Boom. Looking nice. It's kind of like the logo. They have like more effects. I think they also have a drop shadow behind that to further bring out the colors. Alright, so with that being done, all we'd have to do now is edit the actual text. So blending options, I'm going to do a gradient overlay, and they had like a blue in it, kind of bending with it. So you want this white as well. Remember, if you click in the center, you can add another color, and then we're going to add that blue in it. It's like a rich kind of blue. Okay, we hit OK, and then I forgot which way is the bottom. Okay, so it's that way. It's like really quick. Oh shit. move that up a little bit. Yeah, let's delete that box and keep messing up. Yeah, it's like that almost, but there's not as much blending. What we do is we can add another color here, so you see how the blue's stretching across over here, or actually you didn't even have to create that. You could have just dragged this white down this way. So it's not, so the blue isn't blending so far within the letters. The blue just kind of comes to that right there. See what I mean? So if we hit OK, I mean you can mess around with that setting to get it exactly, but and it would kind of look exactly like the logo, except the blue's slightly different, and you'd have to get the color to arc with the letters as well. But that it does it for you technically. So anyways, what do they got there? Oh, okay, and they have that blue flame kind of like going across. So I guess here we can just Google a flame or something. Now here we go, something like this, I guess. Let's see, copy image, Photoshop, okay, and edit file, paste. It's a really big photo, so we're gonna just do this. Just keep doing this. I know there's probably an easier shortcut to resize this, but I'm just gonna do it this way because I'm feeling a little bit lazy. Actually, let me transform it back to like delete the background. Alright, apply. So once you resize it, you're gonna delete this like white part of the background. I should have probably could have did this a lot easier. Alright, so what we do is kind of like coming off the sides there, like that. Alright, so kind of like that. Apply that transformation. Oops, sorry, my shortcuts are coming up. And then like you'd make the flame look a lot cooler looking than that. Like you can delete that background a little bit better than I did. I'm just trying to rush it for the sake of the tutorial so it's not like super long. You just kind of edit it, go into it like that, and then delete the backgrounds. Pretty much, that's what I'm trying to say. Just delete those edges so the flame looks a little cooler than this. So my magic wand doesn't want to pick up every single pixel. Oops. Anyways, alright, just let's move on with it. Alright, so I'm going to put the layer behind the background. Ooh, I want it behind that too. Alright, so, and let's move it out a little bit. So it kind of goes like that. And what we do is we'd have to add a blue into the actual picture itself, but what you can do here is once you have the layer highlighted, you filter and no, it's a layer styles. Image, here we go. Image adjustments, color balance, and then from here you can actually switch the color of it. Change it like a blue, and then you go to shadows, the same as well. Just kind of blue it out. Highlights, the same. Try messing around with that. Yeah. Or actually, I can do it this way as well. I apologize. Blending options. Let me just do color overlay. But color overlay. You could change it to like a blue color. Kind of like to the blue that we used in the thing. And then we can do is hit screen. Screen makes it like a, not screen, let's do a multiply. It adds like a layer to make it more blue looking. Or you can just do normal and turn the opacity down a bit. But we'll just leave it here like that. So kind of like the logos coming a bit together. See what I mean? And then you'd go into the actual thing itself and you can add blue to that. Like, what did we do here? Like, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So I'm going here, blending options. Instead of the cover overlay, do the gradient. And we can change this like how we did before. Change this to black. And then we'll add in the center color and we'll make that blue. Blue. And drag this black down. I know it starts bigger on the ending side and then gets like smaller towards the center. And there's a way. Oops, no noise. Don't do the noise. That'll mess everything up. You can actually have it kind of come off. So you mess it all up like I just did. But anyways, keep it black. Keep it black. Add a color in the center. Make that blue. Bring the black down. See, hit OK. Kind of have it match up with the. Oh, look at that. See, we can actually do something like that. We can angle it. See, like, if you mess around with these features, you can actually have something like that. That angled one is kind of what we could do. You can angle it off the one corner, like coming bigger, and then have it like going the original, but we want linear. And you want, I think it's 114. There's 120. Oops, messed it all up there. If not, you can just manipulate it yourself. On back, I think it was 90 then. Must have been. Yeah, 90. Let's set it for like a 93. Yeah, 92.5. Oh, okay, no. So let's do a 92. Boom. Okay. See, now that we got that gradient there, you can see how it kind of looks like. If you match it correctly to the text, it should look pretty beast. See, but mine might have been too strong of a emboss, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying. So there you go. That's how you do a text like that, like for the newer Smash logo, kind of like that, and that's how you do for like an older style one with the Smash logo. Alright guys, thank you for tuning in. That's Nito LR. Be sure to subscribe to my videos and check out my Twitch page as well. I do lots of streaming for other games. And love Smash, by the way. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. See you later.